Hey everybody, it's Adthroad and welcome back to the Shining Song Starnova. Then last we left off, I finished Mika's route, which means it's time to decide which route to go with next. And you might go to guess on this that I've already made a decision. I've already picked. Yeah. And I was gonna let you see, as opposed to just be on the screen and pick. So, walked on the beach, unable to sleep. Tomorrow I have to announce my decision to the girls. I wonder how they'll react. Rivals team members in the idol unit were common. I felt the girls Starnova had matured enough to accept whatever happened. Regardless of who was a sinner, I wanted each of the girls to shine in their own way. I wondered if I'd become naive. My job as producer was not necessarily to make my performers happy, but to bring in revenue for the company. As the nature of the beast was that one frequently can only be accomplished at the expense of the other. I was ignoring the fact that as we grew bigger, the nature of our jumps was going to have to change. One day, I would have to choose between the happiness of the girls or the success of Starnova. When that day came... yeah. Idle Claude. By coincidence, I met Nemo on the beach. Even though she acts something like Claude, she kind of resembles her. Shut up. Ara, good evening, Producer-san. What brings you out here? Just out for a stroll to think some things over. No, don't worry. I've already got it sorted out. I guess I was just trying to cool down a little. Seeing the moon out over the ocean like this really helps calm my mind down. Oh, indeed, I would come out here for that very same reason. Until the moon's reflection of the water is out my window, I had to come out here and take a closer look. Hey, by the way, are things still alright with your family? Things kind of got dicey before our first live there. Yeah, they kidnapped us. Yes, I believe so. I have behaved myself and not run away from home ever since then. Even if my mother still does not approve of my activity, she's become distracted by a new project at work. So the matter is largely tabled for now. I see. Hope Starnova will soon gain enough industry recognition for your mother to accept your dreams. Not only do we have a respectable showing in the Idol Grand Prix, but we're now going to debut under a major record label. Even a big entertainment executive like your mother has to recognize your accomplishments at some point. Let's show that your desire to become an idol isn't some girl's wishy-washy fantasy, but a real viable career. Understood, Producer-san. We truly have come a long way since the beginning of the year, no? You got that right. We've all worked hard and turned Starnova into a real idol unit. Who knows the future we'll have in store from now? Perhaps Nemu should reward Producer-san for his hard work. Balancing sake on my boobies isn't my only parlor trick. Heart. Really? Nemu is capable of much, much more. I'll say your own name. Oi, oi. More of that again. Anyways, it's too late to win favors with me. I've already decided who the center is going to be. It was real tough for me in the hot springs, you know? All you girls attacked me all at once. No, I'm afraid Nemu is no longer interested in winning favors. This is merely my personal desire. Nemu walked up to my side and took my arm. Well, you're forward as hell, aren't you? Alright, Producer-san. For your efforts, you've won a moonlit stroll on the beach with this upcoming idol, Akimoto Nemu. Nemu. What is that wording? I felt Nemu's side members pressed up against my arm as we walked on the beach together. Honestly, being next to Nemu made me feel unattractive, like a guy who obviously didn't deserve such a beautiful woman. I gulped and tried to keep my cool. And failed. Anyways, you don't have to do things like this. Okay, stop that. Ugh, God. This is the other, by the way, the reason I went with this option is because I initially went with my last choice, then with one of the other choices I was going to go with, so now I'm going with my next to last choice. And I'm going to kind of flip-flop like that for a little bit, I guess. That's my plan. But this son's a stand-up kind of guy, eh? You do not desire to eventually get an idol wife? Well, of course I'm still a guy, so I'd be lying if I said I'd never give it any thought, but I'm still everyone's producer. And work comes before my personal life. Workaholics aren't popular with women, you know. I can't talk. Well, neither are lazy good-for-nothings. You mean you will not use your position to force Nim into doing scandalous things to you in private? Ada. Of course not. What kind of no good, shady producer would I be if I did that? As I thought. Stop that. As I thought, producer's a good guy. Perhaps that's why I've fallen for him. Heart. Ugh. I couldn't help but feel my cheeks heat up. And Eminem was the kind of woman who naturally bamboozled guys into getting all hot for her by secreting pheromones everywhere. Obviously, girls with that made natural idols. However, I wasn't in this to be a consumer. I was here to be her producer. Or to be consumed by her, we'll see. You know what, I'm just gonna leave that be. Indeed, I had a higher calling than to merely be another guy fawning over her looks. I had to remain above the rabble and act a part of the professional... Thoughts got immediately derailed, didn't they? Shall we kiss under the moonlight, producer-san? Holy damn massive boobies! Are you fucking kidding me? Really? You really can't get... You know what? What, huh? Just... His mind just... Scream! What was I thinking? Oh, yes. Titties. Yeah, the scenery. Okay. The scenery is simply too grand to pass up, no? A secret kiss between an idol and her producer on an abandoned beach under the stars. It's truly something out of a television drama. Something like that's obviously not allowed. I'm just kidding with you, producer-san. Then, please continue to take care of me on my path to becoming the star idol. Of course. Could it be that producer-san is disappointed I gave up so easily? Of course not. Anyways, my problems have all but evaporated for now. I think I can go back to my room and sleep soundly for the night. Very well then. Even if it's not the real thing. Nemo leaned into me real close. Eek. I'm not. No. Just what was she doing? At the last moment, she outstretched her hand and patted me in the head. Oh my god. The fucking... Would this be considered irony if by definition? I don't know. Going from the last route, which was full of pahu and breaking me, now I'm the one getting head pats. This was part of why I was... part of why I initially kind of wanted to push doing Nemo's route back was because of the whole, like, weird brother-sister thing that kind of was coming up that I was dreading was going to happen. I really hope that's not what's going to happen. If that's just... That was because the reason I was going to push Aki back so hard initially was because of the whole lolly thing. Like I said before, it weirded me out. And so does this, kind of. It's just... no, please. Don't let this be the thing. Is your producer a dog now? He was acting so cute that I could hardly resist. I couldn't tell if she liked me or if she just thought of me as a pet anymore. I mean, this could be the weird BDSM route, then again. No. Okay, I think we're going to sleep now. Thank you. Indeed. I shall retire for the night as well. If I can talk, I can get it across. Thank you for playing along with Nemo tonight, Producer-san. So it was all an act, huh? Oh well. Anyways, let's both work hard, alright? Indeed. With that, I left my hotel room. Ellipses. Nemo smiled into the ocean for a moment before following after me. Oh no. No. But Nemo was still interested in you, Producer-san. Don't pull up the knife. Okay, now. Oh, shit. Fuck off, flying thing! Demon. Oh, that's fucking fitting, isn't it? Demon. Ah, oh, god damn it. The days flew by in an instant. When you're producing a hot property like Starnova, you've got so many deals to close and people to oversee that months could fly by in the blink of an eye. In fact, nary a moment passed, I dearly wish months had additional days so that I could accomplish more. Before we knew it, the new year had come and gone. Not that I had a moment to take off work. Indeed, ever since the unit's explosive first release under Soma, the girls have gone on to become household names of the Japanese idol scene. A case in point. I picked up a box of regular old curry lying in front of my computer. Just a regular bar of curry, but for the exception that my very own Shimazaki Sasami's face was plastered under the yellow cardboard front, smiling contentedly in her stage uniform. Ah, good old Salami. What a pretty idol What does a pretty idol have to do with curry? Has Sasami ever tried this brand? Does she even like curry? All valid questions. Every which one of them were absolutely relevant. So are they really valid then? I mean, in the scheme of what you're talking about. Under the box of curry was a flyer featuring Kashibaki Aki, dressed up in a police uniform. What? Why? The Ministry of Transport reminds everyone to submit your vehicle for the biannual inspection. Policewoman Aki spoke in giant white font through a loudspeaker. Was it absurd that this shit lolly was pretending to be a cop? It didn't even matter. What did any of this have to do with vehicle inspections? Once again, absolutely irrelevant. Other Starnova collaboration sponsorships are strewn about my desk. Buy this printer, Oni-chan, begged Mika. Fuck off. In one magazine ad. No. This restaurant truly is only for the most refined of women, sighed Namu in a featurette of the morning paper. On the TV, Maria was busy delivering the weather forecast. I checked her Chirper page. A steady stream of messages was stirring in as usual. Did any of these people actually think the girls had time to read these? Yes. This is the very image of making it big in the entertainment world. Logic, sense, rationality, once again, absolutely irrelevant. Just with the TV. This was the world where an ex-hostess could show up on national television and play meteorologist. What was relevant was that my girls turned eyeballs. Indeed, that was what all idols needed to do. Yes, of course, being talented with songs and dances is good, yada yada. But more importantly, think of the amount of tickets we could sell at handshake events. The multi-million yen sponsorships, the exposure, you can almost feel the cash in your hand, just visualizing it. You're just sitting at your desk, like, drooling at the thought of money being piled around you, like Scrooge McDuck diving into his vault of gold. This is a mad world where talent and ability meant jack squat next to the power to draw attention. I laid back in my chair and chuckled to myself. Such was the world, eh? I'm such a fool this time. Ha ha ha! Just then I heard the door open. It just bolts upright the chair. I straightened myself and turned to face my visitor, only to relax. I saw it was Nemo. No, don't relax. It's Nemo. She's crazy. Producer-san sure seems to be enjoying himself. Caught swimming bare naked in my Cloud 9 by my #1 talent, I scrambled to recover my competent producer image. How well, though. Welcome back, my wonderful center. You're on time. I presume today's shoot went well? No troubles to report? Nemo walked over and leaned against my desk with a suspicious smile. What could Producer-san be up to? Just working. I got a lot to do, you know. I don't quite care for that. Stop it. I called this Nemo's antenna perked up and began to pick up my inner thoughts. This girl was good. Real good. I couldn't get anything past her. Just sort of frightening power I'd expect from the center of Starnova. Producer-san wouldn't be thinking of us as objects again, would he? Oh, man, who use women as tools aren't popular, you know. Just doing my job, you know. We're all professionals here, aren't we? There you go again with that. And I thought I'd just like Producer-san stood to his side. I glanced at the clock and spoke before Nemo could keep making fun of my delusions of grandeur. Oh, would you look at that? Looks like we got to get moving. Producer-san? Come on, I've got something to show you. I grabbed my coat and ushered Nemo out of the office, eager to change the subject. Eager, yeah. We arrived at Shinjuku, where I walked Nemo over to a large billboard in front of the subway station. It was still covered with a large green tarp. A workman standing on scaffolding next to the billboard prepared to unveil the new advertisement. Looks like you made it just in time, Producer-san. Thanks for your work, Kimura-san. My pleasure. Now for the big moment. The workman dropped the tarp, revealing a big billboard of Nemo seductively smiling at the passerby in a form-fitting black dress. This was the culmination of weeks of negotiations with KP Ling, a high-end boutique shop specializing in women's fashion. In the end, I accepted a less than satisfactory payment in exchange for a deal where Nemo would be the exclusive model for all of KP Ling's lineup for a period of 1 year. Why did I accept the suboptimal deal? Not all resources were tangible. While anyone with a pulse could count the number of yen in their bank account, I was more focused on that which was unmeasurable: appeal. Akimoto Nemu was a shining star of Starnova. Every morning, at least 100,000 people would walk by this picture Nemu. Her beautiful, immaculate form had to become as natural to the masses as riding the train to work. Every day they had to be reminded that it was this face who was the representative of high fashion, of desire, of what all women sought to be. Such an ideal was well worth whatever money I lost in that deal. How is it, producer-san? Akimoto-san? It's wonderful, is it not? This is merely the beginning of our mission. I look forward to working with KP Ling in the future. Oh, look, he got a swank apartment in this one. I don't believe in Latin. In Mika's, he got that until, until the actual end of her route. Later that night, I spoke with Nemo in my new apartment over a glass of wine. Ooh, fancy. Also a bit more proper than, Aki just randomly, occasionally showing up at your place. Alright, I forgot to mention that I had abandoned my prior living conditions and upgraded to this penthouse in the Ginza district. After a lifetime of languishing in roach-infested, run-down tenements, I had felt as if I had unlocked a lifelong achievement when I finally signed this lease to the luxury apartment. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's actually slightly different. Yes, gone were the days of being bent down, neck deep under the kitchen sink cabinet, chasing down a roach with a can of bug spray in one hand, and futile prayers in the other, that it was but a lost straggler, not the advanced scout of a full-skill insectoid army in the other. That dark chapter of my life was now over. Now here I was, in a luxury mansion that less than 1% of the Japanese population could afford, sharing a bottle of wine. What the fuck is that to say? Sharing a bottle of wine with an entertainment icon. I can't believe how much has changed in just a year. Starnova certainly has come a long way. Seemed like just yesterday that I... yawn. It seemed like just yesterday I thought you got kidnapped. By the way, how's your mama doing lately? She appears to have come to terms with my choice of employment. In any matter, she's a busy woman and has been largely absent from the family table of late. Of course, naturally, now that Starnova was a legitimate entertainment group, there was no reason for the president of Amaterasu Television to particularly object to Nemo's participation. In any matter, I would now be opposed to Nemo participating in any more low-pro entertainment like the cheap swimsuit spreads of yesteryear. Ever since our explosive debut under Soma, I had taken great care to build up a premium image for Nemu. While either girls could endorse mundane parts like printers and curry, yes, like throwaways, right? Nemu was dealing exclusively with high-end clients. Sports cars, fine spirits, and high fashion. Nemu was a symbol of upper-class elegance, the rich Ojo-sama of Starnova. I made sure to run weekly stories in the magazines of her family's great wealth and her pedigree. From this point on, Nemu was royalty. Sounds more like a dog at a dog show, but okay. Your mom was just looking out for you. You shouldn't resent her too much. How much you know my family, producer-san? Given both your parents prominent roles in Japanese society, I would think it'd be against my personal well-being to dig too far. Tell the truth, I don't know any more than what's on the official record. Amaterasu Television is one of the 6 nationwide television broadcasters in the country. Well, I'm told your father's Akimoto real estate... I need to learn to breathe. Well, I'm told your father's Akimoto real estate owns several buildings and land leased to various television studios in both Tokyo and Osaka. I imagine their marriage was more so an economic alliance between two organizations with similar interests and romantic coming together. And here we go. That part is true. Right, I didn't actually read that. I just... For as long as I remember, I've never witnessed my mother kiss or hold my father. And they are occasionally dine together. Our discussions resemble more a corporate board meeting than a family gathering. Perhaps when you control vast wealth and manpower, notions such as love and motherhood become trite. The unmistakable truth is that my mother has always been a cold woman. Of course, I would be wrong to limit my upbringing. While he was a busy man, my father took great care to lavish attention on me as a child, and in any matter, my family's servants attended to my every need. You could say I've lived a comfortable childhood. In fact, it was not until I began junior high school that I began to question my family life. By chance, I heard of a group of new servants whispering among themselves that I had... Whispering among themselves that I had been the producer of an affair between my father and a much younger woman. Triggered by those words, my young mind began to piece together the evidence that was always before my eyes, which I had never realized the significance of until then. In retrospect, it's the most likely conclusion. My mother never expressed any particular interest in my father, and their marriage was merely a strategic alliance, as cold as a contractual business relationship. But a man must still have an interest in the opposite sex, no? And it's still hardly surprising that my father would have a lover or two in his younger days. You know anything of your true mother? Indeed, as I grew older, I grew increasingly curious about my real mother. However, it's not quite a subject which I could broach lightly. Once I was old enough to be out of my parents' guardianship, I asked my father for the truth. It was then that when he confirmed my suspicions. However, he told me that my true mother had passed away a long time ago, before I was old enough to understand. To preserve appearances, Haruna-san had willingly taken me in and convinced the world that I was her offspring, the truth known only to my parents. But I've always known that a great resentment smolders inside of her whenever she sees me. After all, how could she ever love the daughter of another woman as her own? The truth revealed, my father passed me this final memento of my birth mother. Nemo reached into her purse and pulled out a faded, signed photograph preserved inside of a thin plastic plate. The woman winking seductively in the photograph looked identical to Nemo. I recognized it as an old collectible idol photograph in the mid-1990s. So you're saying your real mother was an idol too? It is so. In retrospect, my father's relationship with the entertainment industry put him near many young women, so it's hardly surprising what happened. Interesting. Now, this was something I could look deeper into. I took note of Nemo's mother's name on the photograph. I should do some research later. While I had no interest or even knowledge of the idol industry at the time, finding out that my real mother was an idol sparked an initial curiosity, which quickly blossomed into a runaway obsession. Upon discovering this world for the first time, I decided that I had to become an idol as well. My mother did say that I'm like a carbon copy of my true mother, so I shunned following Haruna-san's footsteps and instead devoted myself into becoming an idol. And that brings me to where I joined Shining Productions and met you. I see. Well, I always did wonder why an Ojo-sama like yourself would want to become an idol at our agency. I guess it's one mystery solved. Anyways, I'll see if I can find out anything more about your mother. The signature on that photograph should be a good starting point. I see. Producer-san's reliable, isn't he? We finished our glasses and looked out into the night skyline. Well, I'd say things turned out pretty well, right? In the end, you managed to become a big idol and more or less get Haruna-san's acceptance. Tell the truth, most girls don't get anywhere near as far. I suppose so, Producer-san. But I did not come here to prattle endlessly about myself. This new apartment of yours certainly is a sight, no? Quite an impressive upgrade. So you've noticed. just leans back in his seal, but I see you've noticed the room you're sitting in, have you? Well, I'm sure it's still nothing compared to what you're used to. Oh, Producer-san, please do not treat me differently. I'm but a normal girl at heart. Given Nemu's thoroughly Ojo-sama appearance and mannerisms, I find that hard to believe. Appearances can be deceiving, sort of thing? Anyways, just what was she doing here, Slade, anyways? Anyways. Redundancy. Just annoys me a little bit. After we finished work, she suddenly become really clingy and insisted on seeing my new apartment. But I guess I had no reason to get that excited. After all, she was a female entertainer and I was the newest hotshot producer in the block. It's only natural that she was here to butter me up so I'd send more lucrative opportunities her way. Uh-oh. Once again, the Nemu antenna perked up as if receiving interstellar signals. Quit it. Ara, Producer-san. Could you be suspecting Nemu of having ulterior motives in being here? Crap, this girl was scary good, and also just scary. If she became a businesswoman or a cop with these kinds of mind-reading abilities, she would be truly indomitable. I was just concerned for you as the producer. You know, you shouldn't just waltz into the apartment of some male executive this late willy-nilly, especially if he has some power over you. Oh my, that sounds like a threat, Producer-san. She withdraws the knife. Listen here. My father did say I was a carbon copy of my mom. What's to say I won't screw up too and end up pregnant with Producer-san's child? I suppose I'd have to be one of those hush-hush graduations where an idol just vanishes without a reason given. Tee-hee. Heart. Why are you blushing? Nemo winked and stuck her tongue out at me. Idiot. Shock. Nemo got rejected. I just shook my head. You know what? I think it's time for me to go to sleep. Come on before the wine wears off. I picked up my cell and called a cab for Nemu. Are you sure you don't want me to... I'm calling the cab. What the fuck is that? I don't know. I managed to usher Nemu out of my apartment before the situation got any more dangerous. That woman seriously secreted too much pheromones. And by dangerous, I mean the knife. But the night was on total loss. Thanks to this talk, I had now gained a wealth of information about my top talent. And information, if analyzed properly, could be used in the future to avoid potential pitfalls and uncover new opportunities. Would have guessed that Nemu's birth mother was an idol. It seemed like something worth looking deeper into. With that in mind, I began to draft a few emails. Morning. Right, well, I'm going to end this episode here. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.